You're crouched behind a ridge watching a stranger carry something you desperately need, obsidian, sharp enough to cut hide, split bone, save your family through winter. You're bigger than him. You have two allies behind you. Taking it would be easy, and yet something stops you. You stand up, you walk toward him, you open your hands, you show him dried meat. He shows you the obsidian. You just invented trade, and on paper, it makes absolutely no sense. Why would an animal built for survival give anything away? Every other social predator on this planet takes what it can from outsiders. Chimps raid neighboring groups, wolves defend carcasses to the death. Theft is the default strategy of the natural world. But somewhere around 300,000 years ago, humans started doing something weird. They started handing things to strangers, voluntarily, without a fight. Archaeologists find obsidian tools hundreds of miles from any obsidian source. Seashells show up in sites deep inland, far from any coast, like these objects didn't walk there. Somebody carried them. Somebody traded for them. And here's where it gets strange. The groups doing the most trading weren't the weakest, they were the strongest. They could have taken everything by force, they chose not to. That choice wasn't charity, it was strategy. Think about your own life for a second. Today, you hand a stranger $5 for coffee you could technically grab and run with. You could shoplift. You could mug the barista. You don't. Not just because of laws, something deeper in you resists taking. That resistance is ancient, and it was installed for very practical reasons. The problem with theft, from evolution's perspective, is that it has a ceiling. You can steal from a neighbor once, maybe twice. By the third time, they're either gone, dead, or coming for you. Theft destroys the source. Trade keeps it alive. A trading partner is a renewable resource. A victim is not. So natural selection didn't just tolerate trade, it rewarded it. Your brain has an entire chemical system built for cooperation with strangers. It runs on two molecules, oxytocin and dopamine. Oxytocin is the one you've heard about, the so-called trust hormone. When you interact with someone and it goes well, your brain floods with it. It lowers your threat detection. It makes the stranger feel less strange. This is why a good handshake physically calms you down. But oxytocin alone doesn't explain trade, it explains trust. The trade part comes from dopamine, specifically from anticipated reward. Your brain doesn't just enjoy getting something useful, it craves the deal itself. Studies show that dopamine spikes hardest not when you receive the reward, it spikes when you anticipate a favorable exchange is about to happen. Think of it like this. Your brain treats a fair trade like a small hunt. Same circuitry, same chemical rush, same satisfaction at the end. But there's a third piece most people never hear about. Reputation tracking. Your brain keeps a running ledger of who can be trusted and who can't. It's stored in the medial prefrontal cortex, and it updates constantly. Every interaction you have gets silently scored. Fair, unfair, generous, greedy. You're not even aware it's happening, but it shapes every decision you make. Here's the part that should stop you cold. This system also tracks your own reputation from the outside in. Your brain models how others perceive you. It predicts their trust level in you. And when that predicted trust is low, you feel something unmistakable. Shame. Shame isn't a moral invention. It's a trade enforcement mechanism. Your ancestors, who felt no shame after cheating, got expelled from trade networks. Expelled from trade networks meant expelled from survival. So the ones who survived were the ones who cared deeply what others thought of them. And now you live in a world with 7 billion strangers you'll never trade with twice. Yet your brain still runs that ancient ledger. You tip a waiter you'll never see again. You feel guilty about it if you don't. That guilt has no survival function anymore. But your brain doesn't know that. You leave 5-star reviews for strangers you bought a phone case from. You rage when a company cheats you out of $3. $3. You'd spend more energy being angry than the money was worth, but it's not about $3. It's about fairness. Your brain is wired to punish unfair trades, even when punishment costs you more than the offense. Economists call this irrational. Evolutionary biologists call it inevitable. In a small tribe, punishing cheaters protected you. It sent a signal. The signal said, I won't tolerate unfairness, trade with me honestly or not at all. That signal kept you alive. It attracted better partners and repelled exploiters. Now, you send that signal to an algorithm, to a corporate helpline, to nobody. The mechanism fires anyway, every single time. Your need for fair exchange is so deep, it even shapes how you experience gifts. Someone gives you something generous and your first feeling isn't gratitude, it's debt. You immediately start calculating what you owe them, how to make it even. That's not politeness. That's your Pleistocene trade calculator refusing to shut off. Entire industries exploit this glitch. Free samples, complimentary upgrades, favor before the ask. They trigger your debt circuit and your wallet opens before your logic catches up. So here's what this really means. Humans didn't start trading because we're smart. We started because theft is short-sighted. Every animal can take. Only one animal figured out that giving gets you more. Not giving out of kindness, giving because the return was worth the wait. That patience, that ability to delay reward rewired our entire species. It gave us language because you need words to negotiate. It gave us numbers because you need to count what's fair. It gave us trust, and trust gave us everything else. Cities, laws, currency, contracts, all of it traces back to two strangers deciding not to fight. We built civilization not on our capacity for violence, but on our ability to resist it. And the strange part? We still can't fully explain why it feels so good. A good deal lights up the same brain regions as food after hunger. We crave fairness the way we crave calories. Deeply, involuntarily, you are walking around with a 300,000-year-old trading engine in your skull. It doesn't care about cryptocurrency or stock options or loyalty programs. It cares about one thing. Did this feel fair? And if it didn't, you'll remember for years, maybe forever. Because your ancestors who forgot unfair deals didn't become ancestors for long. You are the descendant of every human who chose the open hand over the closed fist. That choice is still in you, firing every time you reach for your wallet. Every transaction you make is a tiny echo of the first time a human chose trust over force.